morning. My name is Alicia and I'll be your host today. Hope you all had a great weekend. Today, I'm very excited to be here with 4 MLA candidates from British Columbia. Let me start off with Henry Yao. Henry has worked hard to make sure that young people have the opportunities and mentorship to thrive. He has been involved in numerous local organizations such as Youth Services Agency, Local Chamber of Commerce, and the Richmond Chinese Community Society. He has hosted many community fundraisers and local protect and clean the environment. He also co-founded an organization dedicated to promote a safe, respectful, and constructive dialogue on difficult community topics. Let's hear what Henry has to say. Henry.
My name is Henry Yao. I'm honored to be the BC MLA candidate for Richmond South Centre riding. I'm very excited to join John Horgan and BC MLA, of course, along with my mentors like Ann Kang, Katrina Chen, and Bowen Ma. Fabulous individual laying the foundation for the ethnic community group breaking into politics and especially being fabulous women and helping us balance our gender in our leadership and in our political circle as well. I do want to start out as saying, I immigrated from Taiwan to Canada in 1990. I still remember when I first came here, I just enjoyed this beautiful natural environment of Canada. Not a lot of people, but a lot of natural and green space. As I grew up in here, I actually went to elementary school, high school, and even university. And one thing I really learned to enjoy about Richmond, especially Richmond South Centre riding, it is where a lot of international culture cross over and we get to enjoy so much diversity. But yeah, at the same time, we also start realizing there's a lot of cultural friction in Richmond as well. Being somebody who's from Taiwan, I think everybody who here can agree, we pride ourselves, being civil, being respectful in our ability to have good conversation and dialogue in our ability to resolve a lot of issues. But we actually also have experienced this a lot. All other culture has created a lot of conflicts that we really wish to foster more stronger dialogue as well. That's the reason why I got involved in the community. I am also a cancer survivor. When I was younger, 2004, I actually got 2 different kinds of cancer, large diffuse B cell and small follicular cell, central cell lymphoma. Thanks to my family and friends, I was able to thrive and actually overcome the cancer challenge. One reason why I think healthcare, which I'm very thankful John Horgan and BC with so much emphasis in, we need to invest in our healthcare. As I continue all through my community work as a youth worker, which thankfully to the cancer decided to do something more important to our community. My hands are busy. I'll take it down. It's really busy. But as a person who got involved in the youth work, I'm very excited to helping young people discover the potential and finding different ways to support our community. As I continue to grow and evolve in our community, one thing I've learned is that our society has so many challenges. That's why I'm very excited to follow the footsteps of our mentor again, like Ann Kang, Katrina Chen, and Bowen Ma, as they lead forward to help us to follow, to understand what can we do from a Taiwanese Canadian perspective to help our community and to support a thriving of multiculturalism in Canada. I got involved in 2014 survey election. I got involved in 2018 survey election. And I think one of the things I take pride in, I also got involved in Vancouver Metropolitan Lions Club. I've done a lot of community work, blah, 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 here and there. But I think the most important key factor here is I just really enjoy supporting people and helping people. Richmond South Centre, thanks to John Horgan and BC MLA, is a thriving community that's looking forward to the upgrades of and expansion of our Richmond Hospital. Very exciting, and we're really looking forward to actually keep on pushing to ensure our healthcare get properly invested. We also got suspect upgrade of Ferris and Cook School, and again, our BC Liberal government for 16 years in the past neglected, and it is complete disappointment that we're putting our kids at risk in the name of them wanting to make the budget look pretty. We need to invest in our children. We need to invest in our education. And the key factor here is, before COVID-19 hit, John Horgan and BC MLA had 3 balanced budget. We balanced it and we continue to invest in our childcare, housing, education, and healthcare. And we're doing what is right to British Columbians, and we're doing what is right to Richmond South Centre people in Richmond South Centre people. So I won't take up too much more time. All I want to say is I'm hoping everybody can support us, not just myself, but of course support all my beautiful mentors ahead of me, lay the foundation for an individual like myself to be able to walk into this political world and really explore what we can do as a Taiwanese Canadian to benefit our community and benefit our British Columbia.
Ma Bowen. Bowen has worked hard to improve life for people in North Vancouver, Lonsdale, in her 3 years as MLA. Bowen has used her experience as a professional engineer to improve transportation on the North Shore and has been a champion for housing affordability, childcare, and climate action. In 2017, she was appointed Parliamentary Secretary for TransLink, working under the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. She initiated the Integrated North Shore Transportation Planning Project in 2018 and served as its chair. Bowen is vocal in her support for rapid bus lines as pursuers for rapid transit, as well as known for her work supporting vulnerable renters. Let's hear what Bowen has to say. Bowen.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Bowen Ma. I've served as the MLA for Northern Lonsdale over the last 3.5 years, and it's been an incredible honor to do so. My parents were from Taiwan, but I was born here in Canada, so I hope you'll forgive me for not speaking in Mandarin because my Mandarin is actually very, very limited. But I've been incredibly fortunate to be able to work alongside incredible women like Katrina Chen and Ann Kang, and I really hope to be joined in the next parliament by Henry Yao as well. I think the four of us would be a formidable team working together to improve lives for everyone across British Columbia. The BC government has been working very, very hard for you over the last 3.5 years. You only need to look over to Ann Kang and Katrina Chen to see just a sampling of the incredible work that has been accomplished in such a short amount of time. Out here on the North Shore alone, over the last 3.5 years, we've opened a new urgent primary care center. We're building a new hospital tower. We're establishing 3 new primary care networks, bringing in over 60 new full-time equivalents of doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals. We're rebuilding Hansworth Secondary School, and we're seismically upgrading another high school called Mountainside Secondary. We're also working on building a new Cloverleigh Elementary School down in Lower Lonsdale as well. Through the incredible work of Katrina Chen on her file on childcare, we have so far funded the creation of 798 new childcare spaces on the North Shore alone in just the last 2.5 years that the program has existed. And we've put over $20 million back into the pockets of parents through fee reduction services. We have hundreds of new affordable housing units on the way with much, much more to do. And there is a lot more to do. We know that our work to improve the lives of British Columbia isn't done yet. So we're all running for re-election because we want to keep BC moving forward for all of us. Love to hear some of your questions moving forward, but I also want to cede the floor to my 2 wonderful colleagues, Ann Kang and Katrina Chen, who I know will have much more to share with you. So thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much, Bowen. Does anyone have any question for Bowen?
Our MLA, do you have any method, any idea to how to improve our economics in BC?
BC believes very strongly that as we work through COVID-19 and build our way out of COVID-19, that we really need to produce an economy that is even better than before. And what does an economy that is even better in the future than it was in the past look like? Well, it's one that really helps many, many more people. We believe that the old economy left a lot of people behind. And so as we move forward, we have to make sure that we're building a greener and more socially just society for everybody. We want to make sure that we're investing in the industries that have a long horizon and focusing on a more sustainable future into the future, sustainable future for our children. And we also want to make sure that the jobs that we create are good, positive, long-term, family supporting jobs. So good pay, good benefits that respect people, and of course, that respect our environment. But at the end of the day though, and certainly not, well, at the end of today, and certainly for the end of over the next year or so, we know that some of the most important work that we do, and perhaps the most important work that we will do from an economic perspective, is actually rooted in our healthcare response. British Columbia so far has been able to avoid the kinds of extreme shutdowns that many jurisdictions around the world have faced. We did see quite a collapse of economic activity in the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, but we haven't actually enforced the kind of lockdown that we saw in many other countries. And no matter what kind of supports we provide, no matter what kind of stimulus benefits we provide, none of that will make up for what will happen if we actually have to lock down society. So for instance, we see in areas of, I think Queensborough in Australia actually just went through another major lockdown where they have to give passes to one member of the family. So what they say is, in your family, only once a week can one member of your family go outside to go grocery shopping, and that's it. But if you look outside here in BC, you'll see people walking around almost like normal, but still with lots of precautions around wearing face masks and physical distancing. That our response has been to focus on enabling as much activity and as much economic activity as we feel we can handle without letting COVID-19 get out of control. And that's really, really important for small businesses and for our economy, and puts us in a very good position to rebound when we're ready.
Thank you so much for sharing your vision, Boeing. I'm going to introduce the next candidate. Ankang has served as the MLA for Burnaby Deer Lake for 3.5 years, during which she has served as BC's Minister of Citizen Services and Minister responsible for multiculturalism. In her service as Burnaby's MLA, Anne successfully advocated for a historic $1.3 billion investment towards the redevelopment and modernization of Burnaby Hospital. Prior to serving as an MLA, Anne was a 3-term Burnaby City Councillor, a former teacher and mother to 2 children. Anne knows the issues and understanding the positive impact that accessible healthcare has on families across British Columbia. Her commitment to service earned her the Queen's Diamond Jubilee for her contribution to Canada. And
I am actually really happy to see some of our friends who I've met through Facebook, like Columbus Leo, bonjour, bonjour, mes amis, and some people who have, constantly, Angela, yes, constantly be giving me so much support over Facebook. It is so strange to be able to communicate through the screen, and technology has brought us to so far, especially during the pandemic. So one of the things that I think many of you know my background. I was born in Taiwan and I came when I was 6. But I've always loved language, so I've been able to somewhat keep up with my Mandarin, and it's a really good grade 2 level, but it's not too bad. Conversational is great. What makes me different than my opponent, the Liberal opponent who's running in Burnaby Deer Lake, is that I do have very strong roots here in Burnaby Deer Lake since 1986, before even when the SkyTrain was built. So imagine that. I was living here before our SkyTrain station was built. So imagine the age as well. So I went through two reformations of Metrotown SkyTrain station. One is the original one, now it's the expanded one. On my time as council, I served as Park and Rec Commissioner, as well as a Burnaby Public Library. So during these times, I have been working very closely with citizens to make sure that their needs in the community are being met. And that's why I'm running again, because there's so much more work that we need to be doing. What we have done is eliminated the MSP, which is one of the biggest middle class tax cuts. John Horgan and BCNDP is really serving all British Columbians, not just the top 2%. And that means bringing in childcare, or bringing in better senior care, because people, as we say in Canada, but especially in British Columbia, 好山好水好退休的地方. And so we really want to use this opportunity to pay our respects forward to the seniors who have brought us to this country, like my grandfather and my father and my mother, who are 70 and 71, my parents, and my grandfather is 95. So one of the things that I did during my 3.5 years is I served as a parliamentary secretary for seniors. And during that time, we had about 76 senior homes that were really underfunded. And up to this point, I think we have met the minimal of 2.65 hours. And we're working towards now lifting all our senior care centers up to 3.36. And we will be making even more investments. What that looks like is 7,000 more healthcare workers with $44 million. I'm going to just shift a little bit towards citizen services, because a lot of people are asking, well, is this a new ministry? We've really never heard of this ministry. Citizen services is the backbone of government. So I had the opportunity of working with all ministries in supporting them, whether it is in education, then in getting and anything in the bc.gov.ca websites up to speed. So one concrete example I could give in terms of what Ministry of Citizen Services did during COVID-19 is when we talk about the procurement of PPEs, the protective emergency supplies. It was my ministry that had to go and supply these from all around British Columbia and meet with the federal counterparts for PPEs, but as well being able to talk to people of different countries, namely Taiwan, to see how we could be procuring from them as well. In our website, we realized that during a state of emergency, that it is very important that people are able to read important information in different languages. So in the first week of our state of emergency in March, my ministry was able to gather together more than 100 staff, put up a system of hotline because 811 has just exploded. People were calling to say, I feel sore throat, I have a fever, do I have COVID-19? And other questions not related to health. So we set up the 188 COVID-19, trained staff, and then got 120 different languages to support people who had fear and anxiety of what they should be doing during COVID-19. And further to that, the weeks next is we made sure that all COVID-19 information websites were translated to at least 7 to 9 different languages. I talked about connectivity. This is one of the biggest investments that my ministry has been doing in the past 3.5 years. Is we initially started with a Connecting BC $50 million program. And in the economic recovery plan, we were able to get $90 million. So in $140 million, we are now able to connect a historic high of 500 new communities in British Columbia. And this means stimulating our economy, tourism in the most beautiful places in the remote and rural areas of British Columbia. There's so much more I could share with you, but I'm just going to leave it at that. If you have any questions, I would be very happy to answer in English. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing this. I'm very impressed. And does anyone have questions for Anne?
NDP 上来主政了以后，对选民最大的感觉就是说 ，MSP 的费用取消掉，还有 Surrey 那条桥的费用取消掉，对 BC 省的选民来说是最大的感觉，所以我们会非常支持。那同样的问题，我也要问 Anne， 看看有没有什么好的方法，说这个武汉肺炎或是 COVID-19 肺炎对 BC 省经济受到很大的创伤，也很大的影响。重新再次当选省议员的话，有没有好的方法如何促进 BC 省的经济？谢谢你。
Very good question. So we understand, and it is our view that people are the basic building blocks of a good economy. And when people are healthy, when people are confident into going to the public and spending their money and investing in their own community, that the economy can be stimulated. So one of the projects that I will be working with the Ministry of Jobs, Economic Development and Competitiveness is in coming up with a program or an application so that businesses across British Columbia can use, so that we know the certification and the upgrade and education of a particular business that they have done in COVID-19 safety measures. And we know that technology plays a big role in convenience, in communication, and now in COVID-19. So with a very simple QR code scan, people will know that this restaurant has upgraded their knowledge and expertise and interior in making sure that it is COVID safe. So that's one of the programs that we are looking into once we get re-elected. So we will make sure that all of you, no matter where you live, vote for BC NDP. It's not about getting, Bo and Ma elected and Katrina elected and Henry and Anne elected. four of us cannot make a difference. We need every single NDP to make that difference. And something that we're also doing is over the past 3.5 years, we have invested billions and billions of dollars in building 14 or upgrading hospitals. And I would like to really emphasize that when BC NDP makes a commitment, we are fulfilling almost all of our promises. And those that we haven't, we are working on them, and that plans are in place. For example, to show how out of touch my opponent is in the Liberal Party, is we've already 主持人刚刚就 mentioned 到 we're going to be investing $1.3 billion in Burnaby Hospital. We will have 400 new beds, 2 towers, a cancer center, expanded ER. We'll have a maternity ward. We'll have new mental health and addiction ward as well. And out there, she's saying, I'm going to work hard to make sure that we build a new hospital. So I'm not sure where she's at. The BC Liberals have not put up good candidates. They are thinking of taking away the PST, which is one of our largest revenue of providing services to British Columbians. When we take away a major revenue and say that's going to be tax-free for a year, it is not benefiting everyday people like you and I. It's benefiting people who's going to be buying luxury cars or yachts, things that ordinary people are not doing every day. So specifically, I'll just conclude with how we are taking care of COVID and stimulating the economy. Just this month, October, we have started the Child Opportunity Benefit, and families with children under 18 will be benefiting up to $2,600. So that's new money back into the pockets of families. As well, we are going to be seeing, and Katrina will be talking about, is a lot of new investment in childcare. And that is so key and important into investing in the economy, because when young families are able to go out and work, you're creating jobs. And when you're creating jobs, people can spend in their community. When people have a few more $100 or $1,000, they're not going to be traveling afar and spending out there. They're going to be spending it in their community, supporting local businesses. Many of us are renters as well, so we will be capping rent increases to inflation. And we are working really hard right now to make sure that we have a handle on the strata insurance. So we are doing a lot as quickly as we can in 3.5 years. I wish I could talk even faster, but I can't. But I'm going to leave it to my colleagues to really highlight the work we have done. But in conclusion, there's so much work that we need to be doing. We don't have enough time in 3.5 years, but certainly in the 4 years, we will be making sure that our efforts and our legislation, our programs will be geared towards helping families and helping everyone get ahead. So together, we're going to be building BC back better.
Our last but not least, Katrina Chen. Katrina was elected as the MLA for Burnaby Lougheed in 2017. Serving as the Minister of State for Childcare, she led the new Childcare BC plan and implemented over 3,000 of initiatives to build the foundation of a new social program, an inclusive, quality, affordable childcare system for all BC families. She has volunteered for many local nonprofit organizations and is committed to serving in the community, from supporting local initiatives, solving individual issues, assisting with community events, to delivering food and groceries to families during the pandemic. Katrina served as a trustee on the Burnaby Board of Education and has worked in both provincial and federal constituency offices. Can you share a few words with us, Katrina?
Alex already spoken English, then I'll probably say something in Mandarin. 那我就想说，我可能用中文来跟大家分享我们这一次为什么要参选，然后我们的一些背景跟我们的理念。那刚好我也很感动不管是 Anne、Bowen 或是 Henry， 我们都是新民主党党团的，所以也看到了这个新民主党党团跟我们台湾乡亲之间的一个非常好的关系，然后也很感谢，就说我们有这个机会能够为人民发声。那其实过去3年里，我很荣幸能够当选就是 Burnaby Lougheed 的省议员，然后也负责身为就是负责儿童照护跟带来我们卑诗省第一个全民托儿服务的省务厅长。那其实我是一个人留学生来到加拿大， 然后在这边大概也快有20年的时间了。那过去的从我毕业在 SFU 也是刚好在我的选区 Simon Fraser University 毕业之后呢，我就一直不停的留在本地服务的过去的13年。那在这13里面，我学习很多，尤其是身为新移民，一个人在加拿大，在卑诗省，然后没有父母在身边，没有家人在身边，然后这一路中间，我学习了很多，就是说，如果我们没有一个很好的社会的一个保障，那我们要怎么确保每一个人都能够 thrive in our community？ 我觉得这是一个我自己不管是在人生历练上，然后也是鼓励了我对社会做出更多服务，希望支持本地家庭、本地民众的一个鼓励。那也是为什么我会加入新民主党，因为我在社会前线服务多年，我第一个工作是在一个 non-profit， 然后挨家挨户敲门，然后服务本地的民众，然后不管是在住房问题上，或是在他们觉得他们需要争取他们权益上，然后也服务了非常多比较弱势的家庭。在那过程中，我会发现就是说，我们来到加拿大很多的移民，这是一个这么美好的地方，我们都觉得加拿大是世界上已经算是最棒的国家之一了，但是还是有很多贫困的问题，还是有很多不公平或是不平等，然后我们不管是在教育、医疗或公众服务上，还是有更多需要进步。这也是鼓励了我最后决定参政，然后服务选民的一个动力。那我觉得在疫情之中呢，我们一定需要非常稳定的政府带领我们度过这个难关，因为疫情不只影响了我们人民所有的生活，我们的生活习惯，然后我们的整个系统，包括尤其看到医疗的重要性跟我们公立教育的重要性，它也严重的影响了我们的经济。所以在过去3年半之内，我们的香港政府其实对本地做了非常多的投资，包括我所负责的全民托儿服务，其实这个是历史上真的第一个带来的一个新的一个社会计划来到全卑诗省。我们希望能够帮父母减费，我们希望能够制造更多的托儿机会，尤其是稳定的托儿机会，譬如说跟学校局合作，在学校旁边，在 Burnaby 我们就盖了非常多，刚刚 Bowen 也说了，在 North Vancouver， 在 Henry 的区 Richmond 我们也盖了非常多新的托儿所，而且很多都是跟学校连在一起的。那我们也需要支持幼教老师，因为没有幼教老师，没有这些专业的人员，我们也没有办法有一个好的系统。所以我们的计划是非常全面性的，总共有超过36个计划，然后希望带来给不只是孩子们，尤其是我也身为一个孩子的母亲，我看到了学龄前教育的非常重要对孩子的影响，给他一个很好的基础，也让父母也有可以选择回去工作，或者是要回去追求他们的学业上的进步。那其实托儿是跟我们经济非常相关的，尤其在这个疫情看到了很多父母想要回去工作，但是没有托儿机会，没有我们的公立教育，学校不开放，那我们要怎么回去工作？所以其实这些民生服务跟我们的经济是非常相关。这就像刚刚 Anne 讲到的，其实投资人民就是投资我们本地的经济。那我们过去3年半里面，不止是在民生问题上，在医疗我们也做出了非常的投资，包括我们本拿比的 hospital， 我们是在全省盖了13个医院，在3年半之内是非常不容易的一个achievement。那我们也在这个中间呢，支持了非常多的老人院。然后还有我们的交通设施，我们过桥终于不用过桥费。刚刚江叔叔有说到，其实这过桥费也对很多的人民影响非常的大。然后我们也需要支持本地经济。其实在我的选区就有很多很好的例子，包括像刚刚 Bowen 有提到，我们要做一个这个 transition， 我们在投资经济的时候也要支持新的产业，然后可以更有环境保护意识，然后比较 sustainable 的产业。在我的选区就有2个大计划，一个是叫 Stem Cell， 它是一个医疗公司哦。他们是专门做细胞的非常高科技研究，未来可以帮助非常多这个不同的病症哦。他们做这个研究本来差点要离开卑诗省了，那他们后来我们跟政府合作之后，把它投资留下来，就搬到了我的选区，留在 Burnaby， 然后将带来3到4千个工作机会。所以当你投资这样高科技医疗界的这样产业，然后能够帮助我们的人民之外，它也可以为本地制造很多的工作机会。另外还有像我的选区有非常多的高科技公司，包括其中的公司也得到了政府的补助，然后能够做 clean fuel energy research， 就是希望我们未来的能源跟我们所使用的燃料都能够更环保。那这些都是我们需要去做的一个要往未来想，而不是只看到现在。像刚刚 Anne 讲的，如果只是一目盲昧的去说我要减税，我要把这个部分拿掉，那个部分拿掉，那其实只是在挖洞。因为当你减税，或是当你在做一个短期的计划的时候，它并不会有长期的影响。我们一定要投资长期的影响，包括我们现在在 度过这疫情的时候，政府也提供15%的 tax credit 给 payroll， 就说如果公司请你的员工回来的话，你可以得到15%的 payroll credit， 这些都是一个比较长期能够支持我们本地经济的。那我们还有非常多的工作要做，包括反种族歧视。我觉得这个部分是对我们多元文化社区来说最重要的其中一个议题之一。我们的政府带回了我们卑诗省的人权协会，但是政府却把它给拿掉，所以在过去多年，前政府不支持本地的民生，然后不支持本地的教育跟基本的医疗系统的之中，我们不只是投资这些本地非常重要的人民所需要的服务，我们也更要投资，就是说在很多的不管是公立教育或是反歧视跟支持我们多元文化上的工作也是非常重要，这样我们的孩子们跟我们的所有家庭们才能够在一个更稳定、更多元，然后也更包容的社会下成长。那我很高兴今天能够有机会跟大家学习，然后也希望我们常常能够保持联络。很谢谢大家愿意花时间来听听我们的想法，谢谢。
卑诗念过3年那种，就是说 community college， 然后我现在是转到奎州来念大学。然后，我以前有一些朋友，他们现在都在工作，然后我听见他们最近都有在说出现一些症状啊，所以他们就有去 ，wow they actually went through the COVID-19 tests, but many of them actually complain that they have to wait at home for several days to receive the testing results, and some of them says they nearly lost job because of that. Is there a way to enhance the testing capacity? I think it would help those working class young people a lot.
Sure, I'm happy to answer the question or see if Bowen and Ann wants to jump in. We have increased our testing capacity to I think about 20,000 per day. But depending on the facility that you go to, I know some hospitals or testing centers may be a bit faster than the others. 但是我昨天才其实跟我一个朋友，他们家全家都去做 COVID testing， 他说当天就出来了。所以我其实听到蛮多不同的 experience， 他说好像不到3-4个小时，他们很感动，因为隔天就可以去上学跟上班。然后，但是我觉得一个很重点在这边，就是我们除了要增加COVID testing 的 capacity， 还有我们的速度之外呢，还有我们一定要 advocate for a national paid sick leave， 这是我们卑诗省一直不停在跟联邦政府强调的，尤其是在这样的疫情下面，如果大家有 paid sick leave days， 就不会去为了就是说我每一天的这个薪资，然后为了我如果今天生病，然后没有办法去上班而挣扎，但是增加 capacity 也是非常重要的。I don't know if Anne or Boa wants to add anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you covered it. I like that you mentioned the national sick pay strategy that we're pushing for. We're currently testing about just under 10,000 tests per day, and the vast majority of those tests are coming out. The results of those tests are coming out within 24 hours. The experience that your friends have described might have been from an earlier stage of response. We've been continuously improving our response and improving our testing times. And Katrina is right that we recently announced an intention to ramp up capacity to up to 20,000. The capacity may be much higher than what we are currently testing, but we are actively testing. Latest numbers were about just under 10,000 per day. But we want to make sure the capacity for that goes up to 20,000.
And I'll just add one more little bit, since my two colleagues have covered almost every part of the information, but we understand how difficult it is for families or for individuals who think they may have COVID, that they will be missing work time. And we know that this won't be the one and only pandemic in our lifetime. And so that's why BCNDP will be continuing to be investing in a pandemic prevention plan. And so what this will be doing is we'll be building a state-of-art testing, contact tracing, because we know contact tracing makes the whole lot of difference into informing people whether they should be staying in isolation or if they're infected. And as well, in this response, we always need the cooperation of hospitals. So we'll be taking a look at how we could improve our hospital management procedures and technology. So lots of new investments, and we'll continue to not only for now, but investing in our future.
Thank you, Anne. I think Columbus also have a question. Columbus, are you ready?
Yep, hi. We all know holding public office requires a lot of personal and even family sacrifice. So from other parts of Canada, we are also happy and proud of the great work of the three ladies. So thank you. And wanted to mention that the TCA has been, during this pandemic, TCA has been doing a lot of fundraising and buying made in Taiwan PPEs to donate to the health providers all across Canada, and of course, including BC. We have even been able to buy and donate the highly coveted N95s. So when we donate to the health providers, very often we also talk to them, and they were very happy and surprised to hear of Taiwan's success in combating this pandemic. Prior to the donation, many of them didn't even know of Taiwan's story. So by having this interaction with them, we also have been able to try to bridge between Canada and Taiwan, and especially when many of them hear that Taiwan is not even a member of the WHO, they all said, "Is that right? Taiwan should and need to be a member of the WHO." And we are also hoping to do something more to help many of the Canadian health providers to learn from the experience of Taiwan's success. And so, for example, some hospitals that we have been in contact with, they want to connect with, for example, the Mackay Memorial Hospital in Taiwan and the public health authorities in Taiwan to learn about the contact tracing, which Taiwan has done so well. But in Canada, the provinces are still arguing what's the best way to do about that, and other parts of quarantine procedures. So I wonder if you ladies have some suggestions or can help in getting this to happen, because Taiwan has so much to offer in its success story.
Thank you, Columbus.
I could jump in a little bit and talk about my thoughts. Certainly making plans for where BC goes is a team response, but I do have some things that I would like to work on and it's inspiration. And part of my role as citizen services in charge of technology is I'm hoping that a day very soon that I'll be able to connect with the very amazing Minister of Technology in Taiwan, Audrey Tang, to really exchange about the COVID-19 information. I have been talking to the Japanese consulate office, and they have been saying thank you so much to Taiwan for Minister Tang in supporting Japan with technology to help them with COVID-19. So that's one of the things, and as well. Katrina and I and Bowen and many MLAs in BC has the experience of connecting with Taiwan Economic Cultural Office in their donation of PPEs to our community, especially during a time of very dire need in our community, in the senior care, and in our hospitals. So I want to say thank you so much for that. And I see that Columbus is doing a whole lot in, are you in Ontario, Toronto?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. And so I have been following all across Canada, whether it is a Chamber of Commerce or Taiwanese Canadian associations, we have been giving back to the community. And make no mistake that I've been talking a whole lot with the Minister of Health and really letting him know how progressive and how proactive and aggressive that Taiwan is in fighting against the pandemic. And because of that, I'm actually watching videos of my friends in Taiwan going to like, amusement parks and just shopping as if there's no pandemic in Taiwan at all. And so the investments that we're making in self-isolation when people not from Taiwan is landing is also something that we're learning from. And part of Minister of Citizen Services, that was also one of my jobs, is to making sure that people who arrive into British Columbia have a hotel to stay, but as well Service BC calls people to make sure that they're okay, they have all the supplies they need. So moving forward, how can we exchange this relationship? I'm going to keep my channels of communication open. One of the gifts, I think, would be to be able to just connect with Minister Audrey Tang about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne.
我们知道加拿大很多省在台湾都有那个 trade office， 在 BC 省原来也有在 trade office in 台湾，就是 BC office in 台湾。 那几年前呢，因为自由党执政以后啊，后来就给它 cancel 掉了。那我们一直希望说，加拿大在台湾的 office 各省的 office 能够 open 的，尤其 BC 省啊，这跟台湾的这个贸易有年年增加，对加拿大来说贡献非常的大。加拿大的产品销到台湾去，台湾东西台湾销到这边来，两方面的往来非常的密切。那是不是请3位，假定说在当选省议员的时候，你们如何促进 push government BC government how to push BC government to open the BC office in Taiwan？ 能不能请 Katrina 答？
Sure, I am more than happy to. 我有一直在跟不同的 minister 在讨论这个问题，然后it's an ongoing discussion 但是当然有不同的考量，那我们将来一定还是会再 keep the dialogue very open between Bowen, Anne and I. Hopefully Henry joining the team as well to look at our future trade opportunities. 我觉得今天我们的这个疫情的确给我们的本地社区带来了很大的影响，在 trade 上面其实也整个的局面有点变化。那我觉得有任何的 opportunity 能够促进各种不同的机会，我觉得都是非常。
Thank you, Katrina.
大家好，很高兴你们今天的参与。那因为我接家台会会长是要栽培更多的年轻人来做服务和有意识来从政，来帮忙不管是加拿大人、台湾人，甚至也要帮忙到现在很严重的问题，就是华人就是东方人，全部东方人代表全世界的民主的这些的东方面孔，所以我们今年应该用台湾的版本，就是台湾 model， 台湾 can help 来感化到外国人对我们东方人民主的一块。所以我要我这个问题是给各位我们BC 省的这3位优秀的省议员因为我现在在蒙特罗开始组织了一个叫做亚洲城协会。那这个协会我们是要帮助市政府来重造我们蒙特罗唐人街的经济，也可以帮助我们蒙特罗的这些的华人东方面孔来汉语这个种族歧视的问题，还有经济的问题，还有文化的问题，就是跟中国区别。中国 China 就是代表共产党，那我们 Mandarin， 我们 speak in Mandarin， we don't speak Chinese， 这是我要做的一些清楚，让我们蒙特罗的市长他也要求也找到我们是否可以我们组织这个团队跟协会来暗中的帮助市政府来改善现在全加拿大也可以说全世界唐人街的乱化，因为大家都把唐人街当作是中国人的城市，那他也这20年来也是用方面统治了全世界的华人，包括我们自己的人。我们之前都是讲国语、华语、汉语，那现在因为他要霸凌全世界，所以他教导了全世界的东方人说我们讲的是中文，那我们也是跟他一样。我是想说，是不是我们目前加拿大也只有这个BC 省，我们有我们台湾人跟东方人来做省议员，是不是有机会可以再跟这个市政府、省政府提案这件事？那接下来我就感谢各位大家，然后祝福大家，然后祝福我们今天的会议成功，谢谢。
Thank you all for joining us today, and I'll see you next time.